Pieces. Peace. That's my mic on. Peace.
Peace.
I was freaking out.
Wow.
I thought I missed. I was like, man, I'm about to miss it again.
Nah, I didn't miss it. You right on time. Let me see. There's something that's not working. Just trying to make sure if I'm still streaming or not. I don't know if I want to come. Am I streaming on YouTube? Let me check.
I can try to check here.
I'm about to check real quick. Yeah, I'm streaming. Cool. Alright. I'll have that.
Will they see us too?
I have to like make room on my screen. So I basically would have to shrink the PowerPoint. Let me see.
I was gonna say you don't have to, but I just wanted to know.
Yeah, I have to see if I can make some space on that. Peace, Naija. Peace, peace. Let's see. Peace, Carmen. Peace, Carmen. Let me see. How do I shut that screen? I think I had to do it. So if I just do it from the browser standpoint. Probably not doing that. I'll have to figure it out next time. Still trying to run this freaking software. So, yeah. We'll probably give it about 5 minutes and then we'll get started, y'all. Give about 5 minutes and then we'll start it off. So appreciate y'all's patience today. Can everyone see the PowerPoint on Hangout? Okay. And then YouTube, can you see the PowerPoint as clear as possible from what I'm showing? If not, I can make it bigger. I got you, Naija. Yep. Technical difficulties. That's why it's a little bit of a delay. Let's see. Let me see. Get this shared. Share this before we get started. Copy that. Post that. I'm gonna post these here. Cool. Cool. This thing started. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Those who come in will come in. I want to respect everybody's time, but Peace, family. Thanks for taking the time out today. Basically, the topic of discussion is going to be making money as a national, and also that no job is safe in general. If you haven't noticed, it's 2022, and jobs are just going out the window. So, the whole purpose of this is to actually give you ideas and also practical things that you can take away to do tomorrow to actually start making money as a national or a non-national. These are things that are very practical and things you can actually do tomorrow, literally. So, or tonight, however whatever floats, your agenda. But let me make sure I got that. So, but before I wanted to talk about a few things, I also wanted to talk about the powwow as well as the AboCon as well. So that's also something that we'll talk about as well as particular opportunities as well. So, but let's go ahead and kick it off with the preamble. So I'm going to go ahead and do the preamble, and feel free to read it on. But we, the people of the Aboriginal Republic of North America, asserting our natural Aboriginal rights as the oldest recorded Aboriginal Indigenous peoples of the Americas, consisting of an Aboriginal union of Indigenous people living in accord with natural law, the law of our ancestors, do hereby recognize all nationals of the Aboriginal Republic of North America as a unified community, establish our divine right to self-rule, a common defense of our nation, a complete unified will for progress and prosperity by and for our people, establishing justice by way of natural law and equality, and complete autonomy as a nation. So that's how we kick it off. All nationals within Arna, even in the IPA, you have a particular preamble that you should know. If you don't know where to find it, it's in the protocol manual. If you need help finding it, go to arnagovernment.org, or you can get it from hawabdfw.org. Either way, the whole point is that you want to get that document. So, but you also need to know your 12 general orders. This is something I'm always going to keep harping on. You need to know this stuff, especially if you're a national within Arna, right? So, and this is part of your rites of passage, part of your rites of passage exam. So, and also this also can be found in the protocol manual as well. But gotta ask the question, who's coming to the powwow? It's coming down April 22nd through the 24th. We're also going to throw in an AboCon in there as well, where we're going to have vendors that are going to vend their artwork. Also, sell the things that they want to particularly sell. But it's going to be lit, man. We're going to put out the schedule pretty soon. Come buy your tickets. You'll get fed. We'll have speakers. We'll have different events, different family events, and also just practical things that you can do as a region and as an individual within your families to actually advance your families forward. That's the whole purpose of the Hawab Aboriginal Powwow. That's always been the intent. And also just to have fun and just continue the choo-choo train of the energy of, Indigenous people. So that's April 22nd through the 24th. If you need to have information on that, go to hawabdfw.org. Definitely like to see y'all come through. It's going to be different from last year, and it's going to be fun. So keep those things in mind. But again, we're going to be mixing entertainment and government, right? That's the big themes, is entertainment and government. So if there's no questions on that, definitely we'll move on. So another thing, make sure you pay your dues. This is like my favorite subject to talk about as well. I know I keep talking about it in the local jurisdiction within the Hawab, but if you're on a national, make sure you're paying your dues and paying them at the right time. November 1st through December 31st, okay? So the whole purpose of paying your dues funds employment for nationals and non-nationals and helps acquire equipment and resources and possible investments and keeps the government going. So probably a lot of y'all probably tired of seeing this, but I'm going to keep doing it. It doesn't matter. So just put that in your brain and make sure that you're paying your dues. So, all right, let's talk about no job is safe. So, it's 2022 and there's a lot of strange things going on, but this is stuff that has always been happening from, eons of time. People, selling themselves in some shape or fashion, whether they're selling feet pictures or hand pictures or themselves in general or just selling pictures. I mean, these are things that have been, it's like one of the oldest, I'm not saying it's the oldest, but it's one of the oldest, professions, right? Now, the reason why I'm saying that this is not safe because there's some strange stuff that people are like getting excited for and, just throwing their money out. So what am I talking about? If you don't, I mean, look at this. This is a robot stripper. Some of y'all probably have seen this before, but they're getting more advanced with some of this stuff. Like this was 2018. Now they have a humanoid face that basically is speaking, talking, moving, has all the right, gestures and things of that nature. And so I'm telling you, I know, and this is meant to be, kind of comical and things of that nature, but it's just in general that, even jobs like this is not safe. So keep that in mind, right? I'm not saying that anyone's doing this, but I'm just putting that out there. Same thing with just, taxi drivers or Uber drivers. This is not safe as well. And the reason why I'm saying that's not safe, I mean, look at what General Motors is talking about. Targets for the year 2022 for driverless taxi services. And this was in December of 2021, right? And it's already at that point. If you go to Vegas, there's no car. There's particular Lyfts and Ubers that have no driver inside that are picking up people and taking them to their destination. So each passing day, month, year, it's getting to the point where everything is becoming autonomous and they're eliminating this job, right? So this job is not really something that is sustainable. Like it's good to do it, for short-term periods of time if you need to, but it's not something that is sustainable long-term because they're already trying to get you out. And also they're trying to make it a little bit more difficult for you as well. So like if you're doing Uber or Lyft in particular places like San Francisco or Las Vegas, they're making people get a business license. More money to file, more things to put restraints on you and things of that nature. It's like they're making it difficult for people who want to continue to do this and putting challenges in front of them. So that's why I go on to say that it's not even beneficial to do it long term wise. So again, keep that in mind. So Uber Eats. I know everybody remembers, back in the day, somebody from Pizza Hut or whoever the case was delivering food to you. Well, again, that's not something that is sustainable because, I mean, look, you got all these robots that are delivering particular products, foods, and things of that nature to people's addresses. Like, this is something that, again, if you're doing it right now, it's just more of a, okay, the clock is ticking. Don't think that this is sustainable forever. And, people might, that's just, I don't do that stuff. Well, okay, let's talk about the military. People serving the country for, U.S., United States of America, right? Even that's not safe. Why? Well, look at this. You see that military robot on the screen holding a gun that looks like kind of like a humanoid? And even then, they have a more advanced version of that. You see the dog. You see the other robot that is carrying a soldier with the body weight. I mean, like, this is the type of stuff that is already being done, talked about, and deployed. So don't think that, I'm gonna join the military, get the benefits and things of that nature, and I'll be good. My family will be good. Like, I'm guaranteeing you that they're working on replacing. Now I'm not gonna say they're gonna replace everybody, but they're gonna replace a good population of folks in the military because they basically the whole idea is to eliminate emotions. When, if there's some particular job they want to get done, they're going to program it to do that and, know which one is the ally, the enemy, and, who's going to be a traitor and things. I mean, this stuff gets so freaking deep. It's like, this is not even safe. So that's what I'm saying. If it's a strategy to like, okay, I want to secure some benefits and then get out, let that be the case. But like, even then, it's like putting your life on the line, and it can be a very dangerous situation. Now, not to say that folks in Arna, you should be, prepping yourself for, if there's a time of, possible war on our doorstep, right? So we can talk about that a little bit later, but let's talk about construction. 3D printed homes. See that large arm robot on the screen? Like, this is the stuff that they're doing already. So like folks that are, knee deep in construction or real estate or things of that nature, if you're not investing in technologies that are going to help automate that process to make things more efficient for you, where you're not having to pay, people who are going to drag on a particular project, you're losing money because there are already folks that are already doing this and becoming more efficient at it. And, I'm not saying that this is the best homes, but like it is a home, and, people are looking for homes to live in. It's 2022, and there's a lot of people who are becoming homeless by the day. So, um, so the big question is, like, what exactly do you do? Am I just trying to put some fear into you? Nope, I'm not doing that. That's why we're talking about some of the skills that you need to actually learn, right? And just some practical things you can actually take away today to actually secure certain situations and also make some money as a national or a non-national, right? So the whole point of the idea is learning new skills. Some skills that are, examples are like agriculture, um, robotic programming. There's like free tutorials, as you can see on the screen, to like how to actually do robotic programming. Diving into VR, AR, the metaverse, automation engineering, all these different things. Selling. I mean, these are different skills. Quantum computing. These are a lot of different skills that are going to be useful for 2022 and beyond. And here's some of the other ones like cloud computing, big data analytics, security and encryption. I don't know if everyone's heard of the Cyber Polygon event that happened last year, but that is something that is like, that's another sector to dive into, right? E-commerce, digital trade. I mean, all this stuff, 3D printing, 4D printing. Like, this is the stuff that is like next level skills that people should be looking into, because by 2025, everything is going to be completely different. And I don't know if anyone had a question on the Google Hangout. If you did, just let me know. Um, so, um, make sure. Okay, cool. So, okay. The one skill that I think is also important, I mentioned it before, is learning to sell. Learning how to sell, and it's pretty simple. Think of a particular product you want to sell or service that you want to provide. So you need to identify that. And I'll go into a little bit of the science and things of that nature, but like, who's your audience? Who are you trying to solve a particular problem or sell to? And where do they hang out at? You got to know where these people hang out at. Otherwise, how are people going to know who you are and what are you offering? And then you got to actually have some authority being in that sector. And then you got to build some relationships. And you also have to be realistic about, what it is that you're selling. So if you're trying to end world hunger and you're like, well, I got some bread, which is what, I'm making fun of it. But it's just like, yeah, I got some bread and I'm making it. And I'm selling it. Well, it's like, well, there's already bread out here, so, and that really doesn't solve the problem. So you got to kind of keep it realistic. Let's say, for example, you want to assist people who are not able to particularly hold themselves up for whatever reason, like almost like a limb or something like that, like an autonomous limb, because then maybe they lost it or something like that. Even though that's a solution out there, I'm just trying to, bring some practicality to the situation. Well, since that's already out there, how can you improve what has already been done? So you can take somebody's idea and see maybe where some of the pitfalls or some of the things that aren't working by doing, market research, tweak it, modify it, make it better, and so you're building on top of that, and then you can propose that solution to the market and see what the market thinks of it. Did somebody wanted to say something? I thought I heard somebody breathe or something. But these are just some of the ideas of just learning how to sell and just making sure that you're actually building solid relationships with people, because relationships matter. Because if you know somebody who knows what you're offering and telling to the, and selling, and they can open up a possible door for you to like, hey, I want you to actually present this product or service to this particular group of people, and that's your shot to like sell to like maybe like a manufacturer or whatever the case is. And you get the idea. Like, the whole point is that you got to be knowledgeable. You got to identify a particular product or service or a problem that you're trying to solve. Do the research of where the market is and how big the market cap is, as far as like what's the opportunity if you were to build a particular product from start to finish and take it to market. What's the market cap? how much money is there to actually be made, and where do these people hang out. That's all part of the market research. And then you got to sell it to them. You got to tell everybody. Like, you should always be constantly talking about it. If you're not, then how are people going to know? And using social media, utilizing relationships, utilizing just word of mouth and things of that nature really goes a long way. So it's just, if you know how to sell, you solve half of the problem. Now the other half is you got to make sure you have money to keep the choo-choo train going. And we'll talk about that. We also wanted to mention that there are tribal opportunities that we are offering within the Arna government. So, feel free to always just reach out to arnagovernment.org or hawabdfw.org. Just if there's any type of opportunities that you're looking for, we do have them, whether it's working on land and actually building on that land, from fencing or to planting, from whatever the case is, just in that area, or doing some particular surveys, or printing particular objects and things of that nature for whether it's utility and things of that nature. Whole barrage of things, or just marketing and things of that nature of different services. So anyway, that's just some of the things. We also do have a national program and non-national program. So let us know if you want more information on that, or you could just go to the website, hawabdfw.org. Now, before we actually go into actual practical ways of just like making sure you're tapping into the money resources that are out there, make sure you know your 3 basic cards: your birth card, planetary ruler, and your planetary number, right? Now, again, this was discovered and created, by Dr. Amaru Namatagashi Ali, as far as like the cosmology system, and tapping into that whole system with the Zolkin calendar and things of that nature. But if you want, just a basic reading on that information, you can always reach out to Chief Palatine. You can reach out to Ken Wei Shi. You can reach out to Yogi. You can reach out to me, or whoever you want to reach out to actually do it for you. But if you want to find your birth card, this is the best way, right? This is the way, right? This is the formula. So 55 minus, 2 times your birth month plus the day. And that's it. That's how you find your birth card. Now, I won't spend too much time because we're obviously going to go into this during the rites of passage. But this is just something to keep in your mind. And then finding your planetary ruler, knowing what your sign is, and depending on what planet it is, or particular, whether it's moon or the sun or the planets, is how many spaces you're going to go to the left or to the right. So,
I have a question, Minister Kojo.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's possible if people, like you said, have things to sell, that you got whoever has items to sell, that they can present it or propose it for our Hawab shop in the future? And if so, how should those people go about that?
Yeah, I'll talk about that at the end. There's an actual particular page that for people who actually want to do that on the Hawab DFW site. So I'll definitely tap into that. There's an actual slide for that.
Okay, awesome.
Yep. Planetary number, again, break it down to the day you were born and simplify it, and then depending on what number that is how you actually go, whether you go to the right spaces or you go to the left, right? So again, we'll talk about that in more detail, but again, this is just a quick breakdown. I don't want to take the thunder from anything like that, but basically what I'm trying to say is that you must know these cards and what they actually mean, so that therefore you can tap into which direction you need to go to with your direction of life and what business or what venture you want to go on to. So let's talk about money. Divi. I don't know if anyone's dealt with Divi as far as getting like business credit. This is something that is easy to get. They're basically a fintech company. If you haven't tapped into it, it's real easy to get business credit through them. You just got to fill out the particular information from them, make sure that everything's lined up, make sure that your business is solid, you're communicating that, things of that nature, and I promise you, or at least give you like a high percentage that you will get accepted and you actually will have a line of credit. That's if you're doing the things that we talked about previous weeks in class or whatever. But if you need help on that, definitely reach out to the jurist in Hawab or any jurists that are listed on the arnagovernment.org website, and they'll be able to help you on that. So this is really easy to fill out. As far as like the process goes, they'll just ask you your name, contact information, and then you'll fill out the rest of the application for your business. So definitely look into Divvy. Definitely look into Divvy. It's pretty easy. Doesn't hit your personal credit, and it goes and it's a good way to build up your business credit too, while having access to actual cash, cash value on your credit card. So for business credit. The other thing that I want to talk about as far as like a passive revenue idea is AHP servicing. This is something that is like a crowdsourced funds that basically purchase past dues on loans at a discount. And so they're working with homeowners and, on a solution for investors to invest and kind of assist people who are going through maybe hard particular times or things of that nature, or just, buying, old loans or whatever the case is. But how you actually make revenue from this is that you would put up a particular investment amount, whether it's $1,000, $100, 10,000, however it is, whatever is in your budget. But each month you would get paid back on the initial principal until the whole thing is paid off. And that's the idea, is that however much you put in, there's a particular APY on this that you will make, and you get paid automatically into your account. And so there's a particular APY that you get. I can't remember what that is exactly, since I did this back in, and I'm still doing it. I started this back in 2018. And so this is just another way to make money uh, in a passive manner, and you don't even think about it. So if you have any questions or if you have any confusion on that, this is something that is one of the good ideas to actually tap into. So give me 1 second. I want to make sure that everybody is good. Make sure. Okay.
I heard of that before, but I used to be wondering if it makes you a loan shark.
No, because like what it basically does, like, and you don't even actually have to even concern yourself with that. You would just put up a particular amount, and whatever that amount is they'll go and figure it out and maneuver what it is to help people who are past due on their loans to get them caught up because of your.
Okay.
Does that make sense? It's an actual way that you're not becoming a shark. You're actually becoming an assistant to people who may be past their dues, and give them an opportunity to get caught up and stay in their homes without being homeless, right?
Yeah.
So that's the difference. We're not trying to be dysfunctional. We're trying to be functional, with our investment, opportunities. That's the whole idea. So not every investment opportunity is a good opportunity, even though you can make a lot of money. Because again, you want to have a good conscience at the end of the day, right?
So in other words, you're saying like you lend money to help people, then they actually give you percentage of the money that you help lend back, whatever. Like, pretty much. Okay.
Yes, sir. And so that's the idea. So even if it's something small as $100, there's still an APY for that. It's now obviously you want to always try to put as much as you can, but $100 is still going to be more than $100. Like it can be 150 or 170. That's more than that you had over a 1 year span, or 1,000, or however many you want to do. But the whole idea is that this is another idea for you to actually make money in a passive manner. So instead of letting money sit into a bank account, which is losing value every day, obviously you see that inflation continues to rise. This is just another strategy to deal with that. So, okay, cool. Now the other idea that I wanted to mention, royalty exchange. This is like purchasing, artists' original albums, or whatever the case is, that, like, how Michael Jackson bought the Beatles catalog. That's the same. This is the exact thing that you can do. You can do that with particular artists that are selling their catalogs for sale. Or if you're an artist yourself, you can NFT your music and things of that nature, or list your catalog on this particular platform and get paid for it as well. So the idea is that whether you're an artist or whether you want to be an investor, you can still make money and have your money be into a particular investment vehicle versus sitting into a bank account or in cash, where it's losing value every day. So the idea is that you buy a particular catalog of an artist that's pretty big, and some of these aren't cheap. I'll tell you, a lot of these aren't cheap. Like I think in the past, I forget who listed their album. I don't know if it was, I can't think if it was like Snoop or somebody else. A big artist that listed one of their catalogs on this particular exchange that was up for grabs. So that's millions of dollars that you're gonna have and that your family's gonna have in the long term. So that's the whole idea. Or if you're an artist, you want to NFT your music, very similar to how Tory Lanez did it, but hopefully in a way that's like very functional, and make money from that. So that's the whole idea, is that you can do it that way, or you can list your catalog if you have a whole catalog of music that maybe there's one that you want to list on this particular exchange to sell for whatever particular reason. It's just an idea. Not something you have to do, but it's just something that you can do. So, and then I talked about this before. I'm going to continue to talk about it. Is some of the folks in Hawab already know about this, but Brave browser. I know each one of y'all is on the internet using a browser in some shape or fashion. And if you are, why not, one, protect your privacy better than Safari, Google Chrome, Firefox, and actually use a browser that's not going to sell your cookies to these different major corporations, because they do this shit all the time. Like, they're taking our cookies and selling our data and things of that nature. So one of the ways to protect that is utilizing this Brave browser. But at the same time, you can get paid in a particular token, which is BAT, which I forget the price of it where it is now. It ranged from like 20 cents at the beginning of last year, and then high $2 range. Now I think it's somewhere in the middle, or maybe a little bit lower. But the idea is that each month you get paid a particular amount in tokens based off of the amount of ads, because they'll push particular ads that are very small. You can dismiss them, and you get paid every month just by browsing the internet that you were already going to do or have to do anyway. And then once you get paid in a particular wallet, I think it's the Uphold wallet, once you do that, you can convert it to US dollars or whatever and cash out. I think it's like 20 BAT minimum to cash out, which is not going to take you forever to do or acquire, especially if you're browsing on the internet all the freaking time. So it's a win-win situation. You're protecting your data, and then you're also making a little bit of passive revenue. That's the whole idea. Is just, and you're dabbing your toes into crypto, especially if you're new to this space. Because I can tell you the space is not going away. I think Congress, 8 members of Congress have mentioned that particular folks in the SEC are slowing down the progress of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology because of what they're doing and things of that nature. And there's already a bill that's been in the works that I don't know if it's been officially passed yet, but it's going through the circuit and is waiting for approval dealing with cryptocurrencies and things of that nature. So that's something to keep in mind, right? It might be scary, but it might be different, but it's still a means of, bringing in revenue. And so that's just one of the facets. And then another token that I wanted to talk about as well is the Strong token. Now, the whole idea behind Strong is that any type of, so point is with Strong that you can create a node, and in order for you to create a node, the node is basically going through and solving particular algorithm problems, and you can earn particular for your particular cryptocurrencies, whether it's BAT, like we talked about, or Ethereum, Chainlink, whatever the case is. There's a lot more. And so the whole idea is that you would stake 10 strong, and then 10 strong creates a node, and then you would get a particular percentage amount of strong back, and you can utilize it for whatever particular purpose that you want, whether it's to create another node if you have 10 more strong, to bring more passive income to you. And you see the price of where strong is. So if you know, get a strong token, that's like $161 after, staking it and creating a node that's solving particular algorithm problems and things of that nature. So in order for you to actually start creating a node, basically you need a wallet. Wouldn't recommend using MetaMask as your wallet just because of the, security breach, or them working with particular entities to make it centralized instead of decentralized. That's the whole point of Strong. Strong is a DeFi protocol. So why would something be centralized like Robinhood or things of that nature? But you're going to need some Ethereum because that's going to be the gas fee to do the transaction, and then get your Strong into the wallet, and then you can either connect. I don't recommend MetaMask, but you can connect your wallet once you have 10 Strong tokens, and then you'll pay the gas fee for whatever it is in Ethereum, and then you can start your node, creating a node, and then start earning income off of that, or revenue, per se. So hopefully that makes sense. It's really not that complicated. It's really not that deep. Yes, the price is a little bit, it's actually a little bit lower than where it used to be. It actually used to be, it was like $500, $600. But since the market is going through a nice healthy correction, it's at a particular opportunity where it's like low enough where it's viable to buy. Yes, sir. So if that makes sense, let me know if you need help dealing with that. Feel free to reach out to us. We'll definitely assist with that whole process and getting y'all squared away just with cryptocurrencies and things of that nature, or blockchain technology in general. We're going to be talking about programming and developing your own blockchain on another class. So that, just be on the lookout for that as well. So we already talked about that. Now the other thing is writing a book. Writing a book, creating some type of, whether it's a comic book, whether it's a coloring book, whether it's whatever kind of book. That's also another way to actually make, passive revenue. I made a book back in 2013. Yeah, 2013. Still getting paid on that passively. So that's not something I think about. That's not something I worry about. I see a check and I move on, right? So that's the whole idea. That's another passive way of making revenue. Now, if you wanted to figure out the steps of writing a book quickly, is just have an idea, draft it up, have the outline, the skeleton, and have the end in mind of how, figure out what genre you want to be in, whether it's motivational, whether it's, adventure, sci-fi, or, romance. There's different multiple genres. And then again, going back to knowing how to sell, doing the market research on the audience size and the market cap of what that particular, field is, so that you can actually, be sure to sell that particular book to that audience, and knowing where they're hanging out at. So, whether you're doing previews of the book, whether you're doing teasers, whether you sending the outline to particular companies. If you choose to work with companies, you don't have to. You can always self-publish. It's just a little bit different of an approach of what you do versus whether you find a publishing company that's going to publish you and then sell it for you on your behalf, network with particular peoples, and then they'll send you a check, whether it's every 3 months or every certain amount that it caps at before they send you a check. So that's what I mean. Or if you self-publish, depending on, how you do it, having an e-commerce website, you'll get the sale that same day. And either way, it doesn't matter. The whole idea is to create a book. That's one way. And it's not that hard. It's not that deep. It just has to make sense for whatever it is that you're doing. Now, if you're not strong of a writer, you can always hire somebody to take your ideas and put them in a way that makes sense and comes out nice. So that's that's also another option too. It doesn't always have to be you that does it. You just may have to hire somebody to take whatever idea is in your head, put it in writing, and then you're on your way. Now there's more steps to the publishing and writing process, but I just wanted to throw that out there as an idea. Another thing is creating a unique product or service, whether it's building houses, growing crops, renting out your land, renting out your um, apartment space, your garage, your particular items. I mean, there's a whole, renting, economy going on, so you can do that, and just selling in general. So, like you see from like the particular products from like Healthy Sadies, you can always, create products like that based off of the certifications and things of that nature that you went through. So that would be actually something that's like a product. It's tangible, it doesn't, it's easy to evaluate. There's inventory, and there's no. Um, you just put it out there for what it is. Versus a service, whether it's from one of our law firms within Arna, from like New Ways and just other law firms and things of that nature. Um, it's intangible, but you understand that it's like a service of some nature, whether it's you know um, coming into to Arna and you want to nationalize, or debt removal services, or whatever the case is. These are things that are services that so that's the difference. So and you just want to choose which you're going to do. You can do both, but just know like there's certain things that go with it. So that's the whole idea. So just create some type of unique product or service. And the other thing that I want to mention is that getting involved in your local ministries, whether you're in Arna or the IPA, you definitely want to get involved in your ministries or institutions that are in your local jurisdiction, because that's going to help kind of keep this choo-choo train going, whether it's the economic ministry, arts and entertainment, family ministry, birth and death, cosmology, legal, whatever it is. These are the type of stuff that you want to get involved with. And you can talk to your local ministers to, help assist and guide with that. Now, the other thing that I want to mention, like we talked about, as far as like economics, if you want to be listed on the Hawab DFW website, definitely send us the details of what product it is that you want to have listed or sell, and whether it's all we ask is like whether it's 25 or 15, it doesn't matter. We can negotiate whatever the case is, but the rest of it you would just keep, and we would market it for you, in a manner that makes sense if you're okay with that. But we can talk about those details in particular whenever the time goes if you're interested in doing that. So if you want to actually list your product or particular service or whatever the case is, definitely reach out to one of our local ministers, whether it's Dr. Shira, Ken, or myself, and we'll be able to assist you with that whole process. So it's another way for you to actually make revenue for your economy and things of that nature, and um, also reach a new audience. Because that's the whole idea, is that you also have to market in different sectors depending on what it is that you're actually selling or offering as a service. So on that note, I promised I wasn't going to take too long, so that I just open up the floor for questions on that. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that was useful. The whole idea is we have to be multidimensional when it comes to making money as a national or non-national, and these are ways that are very practical to do that. So I want to check a few different things. Hold on. Somebody say what? Hold on. Read it. Peace, Hawab region. I dabble into crypto. Definitely a field we should get into. Been helping me pay my bills since the lockdown. Oh yeah, and that's the whole point. Is that this space is another means of making passive revenue. Whether you're creating NFTs, which is pretty easy to do, you just go to OpenSea as one of the platforms. There's many platforms, but you can go to OpenSea, you can go to Royalty Exchange, like you saw, like I showed you, and that's another way to make passive income is by selling arts, audios, books, whatever that can be minted in NFT. That's a way, and you can sell it to the market, especially if there is a market. Or you can, take particular cryptos that are, stable coins or particular assets that have real utility, such as like Chainlink, um, Bitcoin, Ethereum, a few others, VeChain. There's a lot of those, and you can stake those things. And when you're staking them, you're making passive revenue off of that. And if you're doing it in your indigenous business or your particular your nationality within Arna, you'd be good to avoid, not even avoid, but you don't have to pay taxes legally and lawfully. So that's also another means of passive revenue, like you were saying. So, but you also mentioned, oh, peace, Nita, absolutely. No problem. And then peace, Fatima. Hopefully all this was useful. The whole idea is just to provide revenue sources. So if there's no other questions, definitely want to make sure to remind y'all to get ready for the freaking powwow. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be exciting. Definitely like to have everybody come out, and especially if you can, it's in Dallas again, April 22nd through the 24th. And then other reminders, if you want to be listed on the website for particular products that you want to sell, definitely go to the website, reach out to one of our clerks, and we can get you a particular squared away and just be of assistance, family. So I'll make sure that is everybody good on Google Hangout? Any other questions from folks on the Google Hangout? Just want to make sure I take care of y'all too. Make sure.
How many if the vending, it covers one ticket or two?
The ticket will cover, I think it's like a family. So depending on, yeah. So, and then it covers your food and stuff like that. So
the tables will be there?
Mm-hmm.
Tables and chairs. Okay.
Tables and
And
chairs.
how can people submit their art for the art?
Oh, say that again.
How can people submit to display their art at the Hawab Powwow event? If we have artists or people who have art for the gallery event at the powwow?
Yeah, they just need to fill out the vendor form. We have a vendor form that for people to fill out if you're interested in doing that. So whether it's vendor or being an artist and displaying your artwork, they just need to fill it out and what the actual intent is that they're wanting to do. And then we can get them squared away, whether it's displaying in a particular section or if they want a table and they want to display it there as well and sell their art, we can do that as well. We can accommodate that. So
Awesome.
cool, family. Cool. Let me make sure everybody's good. I think we're good. Cool. Yeah, on that, after that, if there's no other questions, I'm going to wrap this up and I'm not going to take anybody's time. But the whole idea was just to make sure that we have different ideas during interesting times to have some type of revenue. So definitely feel free to reach out to us or onagovernment.org, whoever you feel you want to reach out to. But that's the whole point. We're just trying to be useful. So
thank you. I appreciate all that research you did.
Thank you.
No sweat. Appreciate
y'all. Good looking out, man.
Appreciate y'all. And we'll see y'all next week. Or we'll see y'all Sunday, wherever, because we have Rites of Passage class too. So, on that note, family, peace.
Peace.
All right, peace to the family. Excellent work, guys.
Yes, sir.
Peace to the gods.
Yes.